السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. What I basically said there in Arabic was the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, and may He extol and send blessings of peace upon His final messenger Muhammad and upon his family and those who follow them upon righteousness until the day of resurrection. So the title of the speech is, what is the purpose of life? And this is an important question. And it's not just the title of the speech so for the sake of information we can know what is the purpose of life. But it's an important question because it's linked to another important question. Once you know what is the purpose of life, that question leads you to another one, which is what will be my final destination? Or what is the end for me? And what does this mean to me? It's not just that we're here to know the purpose of life. Now, there have been a lot of people who have contemplated the purpose of life. And there have been a lot of philosophers historically who contemplated life itself. What is life? What is the answer? And some of them came with the conclusion that it's basically imagination. Others said, because of the fact that I think, I must exist. And so many people came up with different things. But in our contemporary world now, many people have contemplated the purpose of life. And so many of them have come to the wrong conclusion. There are actually people who thought of this question, and their answer was that the purpose of life is to make money. And we have met so many people who have thought of it like that, who have come to this conclusion, that you're here to make as much money as possible, and then buy whatever you can with your money, and then provide with your money good education for your children, so then they can have a good income, and they can make good money as well, and so on, and so forth. But of course that is not the purpose of life. That is not the purpose of life. And everything has a purpose. Everything, everywhere on earth. Whether we know and understand what the purpose is or not, every little organism, every insect, something as annoying as a housefly, it has a purpose. So it can't be that everything around us has a purpose. If you look at this room, you will not find one metal or plastic object that they just put there for absolutely no reason. They just went out of their way to put this item and hang it on a wall or from the ceiling for absolutely no reason. Every single thing that surrounds human beings has a purpose. So it can't be that the human being, him or herself, doesn't have a purpose. Yet everything around them has a purpose. And I'm not going to hold you in suspense for 30 minutes before I finally tell you what is the purpose. It's very clear and it's very simple. And Allah mentions it in the Quran, the Muslim holy book, where the purpose of life and the purpose that He created us is so that we may worship Him and worship Him alone. And that's as simple as it gets. And there is no complication there. Because the most important message has to be digestible, has to be clear, has to be understandable. It can't come to you coded, it can't come to you within the confines of a mystery, because it's the most important message. So this is something that Allah wants us to know. And for those who don't know, the word Allah, it's a name. It's the name of God in Arabic. It's not the name of a different God. And a lot of times you'll find people trying to say that Allah is not the same God as the God of Abraham or the God of Moses, but actually that's not correct. And I will tell people, if you don't believe, you find a Bible in Arabic and you will see that it says Allah. And all Christian Arabs, they say Allah. So when I say Allah, for the purposes of this talk, it's just the name of God in Arabic. We're not talking about a different God. And if you hear me say in Arabic, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, after the name of a prophet, it means may Allah extol and send blessings of peace upon him. So it's a kind of respect that we pay to the prophets. So we were saying that everything has a purpose. It can't be that the human being doesn't have a purpose. The purpose of life is to worship the Creator. And so many people become confused with different things in life. And some people think that they were born to become an actor, or born to become a model, or born to rock and roll, or born to become a singer, or born to whatever it is, extreme motorcycling or skydiving. These things come secondary to why Allah created you. The first and foremost reason, we were put here on this earth to worship the Creator. But then so many things come in our path, and they take us and pull us away from the purpose of our existence. So we are to worship Allah alone, and to not associate anything with Him or alongside Him in worship. And that is the most important thing. And that is actually the worst crime, is to worship someone else with Allah. The brother who just introduced me, Brother Ahmed, he said, that I came all the way from Sudan, and he made it, because of his good manners, he made it sound like I'm doing them a favor, but it's actually the other way around. They bring me, wherever I am. They brought me once from Sudan, they brought me all the way from Washington, D.C., and they're very nice to me. They give me the chef treatment, where they call me in the morning, what do you want for breakfast? And they call me at lunch, what would you like to have for lunch? And they call me for dinner, what would you like for dinner? And they're being nice to me. Do you need anything else? Can I give you some shampoo, mouthwash, whatever you need? They're always giving me this excellent treatment. And imagine now, after being here for, let's say, a total of 2 weeks that I was spending in Calgary, after these 2 weeks, when it's time to really thank them, I walk up to a total stranger that I never met before, and I say, I'd like to thank you very much for buying my ticket all the way from Africa and my return ticket. I'd like to thank you for all the meals that you paid for me, for the lunch and for all the good times and all the respect that you gave me. Thank you very much. And I just thank a total stranger that has nothing to do with this group that invited me over here. No one in this room feels that that's fair. No one feels that would be proper. And if I were to give anyone in this room $1,000, would you go and thank somebody else for it? Or would you thank the one who gave it to you? And that's why worshipping something besides Allah, no matter who or what it is a severe and major sin in Islam, but not just in Islam. You will find this message consistent, and you will find this message to be there also in the Old Testament, even though I understand Jews do not like this term Old Testament, because to them it's not old, it's still the real deal. But you will find this message consistent in the Old Testament, it's consistent in the New Testament, that you do not worship anything else besides God. And you do not worship anything else alongside with Him. Because He is the one that gives you everything that you have of good in this life. Everything that you have. And you can't put a price on the things that He gives you, the blessings that He gives you. I guarantee no one in this room would sell their 2 eyes, not even for $100 million. I can guarantee. Or even your hearing, or your ability to speak for that much money. Because you can't put a price on the blessings that Allah gives you. And in the Quran, Allah even mentions that if you were to try to count the blessings of Allah, you won't be able to enumerate them. And there's so many things that He gives us, and they're blessings, but we take it for granted. We don't even consider them as blessings. So for example, some of you have very good hair. How many people wake up in the morning and just thank God for having good hair? Most people don't consider good hair as a blessing. Until you see someone with a hairstyle like me, and you're like, oh, thank God for my hair. How many people remember to thank Allah for their teeth? That that's a blessing. You don't remember that. So many things around us are blessings from Allah. We can't put a price on them. We can't enumerate them. We can't count how many blessings we have from Allah. How many times do you wake up? How many times in your life have you woken up in the morning ill? You wake up with an illness and you call in, you can't go to work or you can't go to school. But how many days did you wake up in good health, not sick? And how many bad illnesses and how many potential illnesses did Allah push away from you? So that's again another way of looking at the blessings of Allah. So He gives you all these blessings. And in the end, when something good happens, you hear people say they thank other God, or they thank something else that they worship. How many times have you heard something good happen to someone and they'll say something